Hey guys, how's it going? Have you ever heard the term self-regulation? I have never heard of this term up until a few years ago when one of my boys was 3 and he went to preschool for the first time. And he had a rough time adjusting. He had these little tears in his eyes sometimes, and he was just struggling, missing me. And so I was speaking to the teacher, and the teacher said, everything, it's fine. Everything is good. He just needs to learn to self-regulate. And it took me a while to even hear her and to let it sink in, because I've never heard this term before in my 30-something years of life. And I didn't even understand what is she talking about? What's self-regulate? At the time, I was seeing a therapist, and she explained it to me. And I mean, it makes perfect sense now. It's just like a child needs to learn to self-regulate. That means if he's upset, he needs to learn to feel better, right? And so it makes perfect sense. And as I think I felt a little bit even of a rage, like why hasn't no one ever told me about this, right? I feel like I should know this. Someone should have told me that this exists and that it's a thing and we can practice it and get better at it and how to do it and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a bit shocking to me that I've never heard this term. So if you have totally heard this term, then I'm so happy for you. And then you must be aware of the concept and you know kind of what it is and how to do it. And maybe, hopefully you're practicing it. And hopefully you are getting so good at taking care of yourself and how to feel better. And if you are, then maybe one of these, I think you definitely should keep listening, because I'm going to share really 3 questions that I use to self-regulate that I think will change your life forever. And so just keep listening. But for the rest of you who has never heard this term, so self-regulation is basically being able to regulate your emotions and basically being able to make yourself feel better. That's in my eyes, right? If you feel bad, how can you make yourself feel better? That's the skill, self-regulation. And I recently just got reminded about this concept because I was in this program and I was watching it, and this woman, she teaches people how to set up their house so that the house supports them in their life and kind of comforts them. And she even has a chair. She's like, you have to have a self-regulation spot. It could be like this super nice, comfy, cozy armchair that you sit in, and then you can self-regulate. It feels good to you, and it's comfortable, and it's just somewhere where you take a break. So it got me to thinking, okay, I love this concept. I wish people told me this when I was a kid, and they're like, you have to learn how to self-regulate, and this is how you do it, blah, 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 right? So I love it so much. So I got to thinking, okay, I have gotten definitely so much better at self-regulating from going from 0 to actually being able to take care of myself. And so what do I do now? It's something that I learned from my favorite, the person who changed my life so much, this life coach, Brooke Castillo. She taught me these 3 questions that I'm going to share with you right now. And the first question is, what am I feeling? Okay. So I'm going to tell you the questions. I'm going to tell you a real life example that I just did it today. So what am I feeling? The second question is, and you answer it, right? Because it takes you some time to answer it. Like when I first ask myself that, especially if something's bugging me, I cannot answer it right away. I have to kind of dig to the truth down inside me. I'm like, I don't know. I just don't feel good. Something's bugging me. I don't want to talk about it, right? I'm like, I'm just annoyed. I don't want to, there's like closed off part of me, right? But I have to ask. Finally, I'm like, oh, I feel something, right? Then I name the feeling. Then I ask myself, what am I thinking that is making me feel this way? Because every feeling comes from a thought. So then I'm like, okay, if I feel guilty, then what am I thinking that makes me feel guilty? Because it feels terrible, right? And then I always think, okay, I'm like, I'm thinking that, I did something wrong. I shouldn't have done that. Then this is all may take time again. I ask myself, why am I thinking that? All right. I'm like, oh, interesting. Right? Like, this is what I'm thinking, and it's making me feel really bad about myself, which I don't like. So, why am I thinking that? Let's kind of get curious about it, right? And without judgment. If we have judgment, it's not going to be a fun process. It's just not going to happen. We're not going to get the answers we need. We're not going to be honest with ourselves. We're going to shame ourselves. We're going to think, you're so stupid, you shouldn't have done it. I agree. You bad girl, right? So these 3 questions: what am I feeling? Number 1. Second question: what am I thinking that's making me feel this way? So you have to identify the thought that's directly related to that feeling, right? But you have to dig deep into your brain to figure it out and into your feeling. And then the next one, once you found out that information, then you kind of ask yourself, try to understand, where is this coming from? Why are you believing this? Why are you thinking this? And that's all you have to do. That's it. Because once you understand what's going on for you and with you, then the solutions will flow, they will come. And sometimes you don't even need a solution, because once you understand what's going on, then it just all falls apart, because it doesn't make any sense. Because you've saw what you're thinking, and you're like, well, this is not even true, so you stop thinking it, right? I'll give you, or you can answer it, or you can kind of give it a solution in your head, or you can go out into the world and look for a solution and talk to people and find a solution, or ask for help, right? Then you can move into solution mode, right? But first, you have to understand what you're regulating. If you don't know what you're regulating, you can't regulate it, right? And a lot of the times, just to regulate, we don't even need a solution. We just need to feel the feeling. Okay? So for us to feel the feeling, these questions will help, because they will bring you back to the feeling. Because sometimes when we have it, the bad feeling, we don't want to feel it. We want to escape as fast as possible. We want to have our lunch, have the coffee, watch TV, talk to someone, drive somewhere, do something, do an errand, go shop. Anything to not feel bad. Distract. And we are not going to get to feel what we're feeling. We can't regulate what we're feeling, right? So this is what I'm suggesting to you, is that these 3 questions will allow you to get to the bottom of the feeling. And then once you're there and you're with it and you stay with it, then you have an opportunity to regulate it, okay? And the more you do this, of course, the better you will get at it. Because I'm at a point where I do this all in my head, and it takes some time, and then it processes it, and I move through it, and I'm done, right? And sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes I need to talk to people. Sometimes I need to get coached to move through it, to find the solution. But the idea is, I want to plant a seed for you that this is how you start doing, this is how you do it. And if you need help, I'm always here to help you with that. And you just need to start practicing it, right? Start practicing self-regulating, and there's so many ways to do it. This is just one of the ways. And you find your way. Practice all the different ways. So now real life example. So if you remember yesterday or in last podcast, I talked about this new friend of mine that I just love. We play tennis, and I really like her, and So this morning, we were part of this program together with this girl, and I saw her again, and we had a blast. We had so much fun. We played, we laughed a lot, and we had lunch, and we talked a lot. And so I was just loving it so much that we were laughing so much that walking away, I said, oh my gosh, I love you. We should be friends, and blah, blah, blah. And we all laughed and left. But as I got home, I felt this bad feeling, like gnawing at me. It was just kind of bugging me, almost like a rock in your shoe, And I'm like, what's the matter? I just had so much fun. I really like her so much. I found it's so, sometimes when you find someone that you have so much fun with, right? It's really fun. So I thought, what the heck? What is this, right? And this is when the self-regulating had to happen. And I didn't want to do it, but I was like, I don't feel good. So I have to, I'm like, what is this about? What's going on? And I asked myself, okay, what is this feeling? Like, and I figured out the feeling was like I did something wrong. Okay, so guilt. And then I asked myself, okay, what do I think that I did wrong? And in my answer was that, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said, I love you, we should be friends. I made her feel uncomfortable. And that's just not cool, right? I'm going to kind of weirded her out, right? And so the next step I had to do was really feel bad. I had to really sit there for a moment and feel that guilt and feel that remorse and feel all the shittiness of it. And I had to tell myself, it's okay that you said that. Of course, I mean, it's okay that you said that because you felt it. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's really nice that you did that. It's really nice that you had so much fun, right? I had to tell myself that, right? Because I had to comfort myself, right? This is the self-regulating I did because I wanted to feel better, right? So that's what happened. I had to really look that dirty feeling in the face. I'm like, you are making me feel so bad right now. I had so much fun, and now I should feel bad about expressing how much I like someone. Like, come on. It's okay that I did that. Right? I had to tell myself, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's lovely that you did that, right? Like, it's nothing wrong. Maybe it's fine, right? There's no one died. It's not a crime. So this was the self-regulating I did today. And if I haven't done it, I would have carried that feeling of shame. It really was a feeling of shame. Like, something's wrong with you. You shouldn't do that. Like, you know, something's wrong with you feeling, though that feeling is really not good. So I would have carried it with me all through today. And every time I would remember probably about her, I would feel bad about myself, right? So, and that's what I did. So I hope that example helps you. And this is what I do with every feeling that feels bad. I'm like, why am I feeling bad now, right? I'm like, okay, what's the cause of this? I know it's not something out there. It's in my head. Okay, let's find the answer. And so that's why I'm so grateful to Brooke Castillo for teaching this and spreading the word, because she has changed my life. And I'm hoping I can change your life as well by sharing with this, because it has made my life so much better, because I no longer walk around and think that the world is kind of in control of how I feel. I walk around and I am aware that what I'm thinking is actually just my thoughts. And I am aware that how I'm feeling is coming from my thoughts. It's not coming from some truth out there, right? Because if, let's say I didn't know this information, I didn't know that thoughts create our feelings, I would have thought, okay, there's something definitely wrong with me because I shouldn't have said that, right? And that girl is not going to be my friend anymore because I weirded her out, right? And I shouldn't express my emotions when I really like someone. Right? I would have just kept my terrible thoughts. I would have kept my terrible feelings. And then on top of that, I can't even help my kids, right? When they have their feelings. So this is why I have a podcast. This is why I love teaching and sharing this stuff, because it changed my life so much. And that's why I'm here to share that stuff with you, because it really gave me mental sanity. Before finding the stuff, I was losing my sanity. I was not in control of how I feel. I was not in control of what I'm thinking. I was not in control of anything. I was losing my mind. So there you go. And that's why I am here. Okay, guys, so you got the scoop. 3 questions. What am I feeling? Second question, what am I thinking that's creating this feeling? Okay. And the next one, why am I thinking that? Or why am I choosing to think that? And just take time for each one and don't overwork it. Just let give those questions to your brain, and your brain will give you answers. You just have to be patient. Your brain will find some answers, and they don't have to be right. Just let the brain give you brainstorming answers, like, few options, right? And you will know which answer is right by how it feels. You're like, why am I upset? Oh, maybe because it's of this. No, maybe this. No, so go on and on and on. And then once it gives you this answer, you're like, oh, yes, totally. That's why I'm upset. Now we know why I feel upset. Now we know why I feel upset. Now let's find out why I'm thinking that. Like, why am I choosing to think that? Okay, so you got the message. Have a wonderful weekend. I love you all so much. And as always, if you need any help with that, I can talk to you and sort out your thoughts and your feelings and have you be the expert of that, so you can walk away and you will never need another therapy session or another or a life coach. You will be able to manage your own mind, which will give you the freedom to feel anything, will give you the freedom to solve your own emotional problems and self-regulate. Okay? All right. I hope I sold you on that. You know where to find me. www.coachingnatalia.com. There's a link in the session notes, and go to sign up for a free session, and I'll see you on Zoom. Okay, guys? Love you. Bye.